Hi, Natasha Kennedy is here, your realtor for Washington, D.C. area. And today's question is, what is the difference between property management agent and agent who rents out your property? The agent who rents out your property is just a middleman. They will put the property in the market. They will advertise this with their own money. They will connect you with the potential tenant, and they will provide all the background check, credit report check, employment history, etc. And it'll be your choice whether you go ahead with this particular tenant or you deny the tenant. They will split. They usually list it through the multiple listing service, and the commission you pay, usually it's 1 month rent, they will split with a second agent who will bring the tenant to you basically, and your agent is doing the paperwork. So the payment you give to your agent who rents out the property is usually 1 month's rent, and it is usually split between two agents, and each agent split between the agent and their agency. That's one thing. The property management is the person, it depends on the agreement. They can also rent out your place like the regular real estate agent. Again, I just repeat it again, that regular real estate agent who rents out your place is just the middleman. They're not doing anything. They're not painting your property. They're not managing contractors who will do repairs. They're not managing cleaning ladies, etc. They just connect you and find you a tenant. The property manager can do both. They can rent out the place, it's usually the same fee, and they can manage the property. Usually the fees for managing the property is between 7 to 10%. It depends on the property, depends on the property manager and their terms. What are you getting in exchange? You're getting good night's sleep, because your tenants are not going to call you in the middle of the night and tell you, oh, I have roof leaking, I have faucet leaking, something else happened. All of this is going to be handled by your property manager, and that's the fee you pay for the services. The property manager can meet the contractors, can manage the contractors. Look very carefully in your contract when you sign with the property manager, because some property managers do charge separate fee if they have to do the management of the contractors on big projects. So that's what you're getting, basically getting a good night's sleep. Your tenant are communicating only with your property manager, and the property manager handles the rent, and they receive the rent check from the tenants. They cut their portion of the commission each month and send the money directly to you as a landlord. If the problem rises and the tenant does not pay rent, the property manager handles this. But they also have to be very careful and look at the agreement, because there could be different fees for the property manager to show up in court, to deal with the police, to deal with the eviction. It is usually definitely a different fee, because it's time consuming and it's usually per hour. Some agreements are structured a little bit different, but it's more involvement than just the regular agent who rents out your property. You can manage the property yourself. You save money. But if you own several properties, or if you live overseas, for example, I have a couple clients who live in a completely different country, so we do the property management for them, and all they get is every month an update what happened with the tenants, if there are any issues or if there are any things needs to be fixed, and they get the check, monthly rental check. If something needs to be fixed, then we hire a person who fixes it, either a plumber or a handyman or whatever. We pay that person from the rental check. We just basically cut the check from the tenants, we pay it, and we show the bill for the done work to the owner with the explanation why their monthly rent is less. If there is a bigger project, like for example, window replacements, which cost $10,000, then obviously we meet with the contractor, we proceed with the building owner if it is a condominium building, and we get an approval from the owner first before we do any big project. But clogged sinks, busted pipes, leaks, holes in the walls, little things like that, usually property manager takes care of it. That's what we do. That's the biggest difference. And sometimes I know clients expect the regular agent who gets the part of the monthly rent and who is basically just the middleman. But the clients expect them to do the property management stuff, to communicate with tenants. If the tenant doesn't pay, go after the tenants, prepare property for rent, paint, hire contractors, and it's a very, very minimal fee. Basically, each rental property is like a charity case. The agents are hoping that if they do this work for you just to rent out the place, then later when you decide to sell the property, you go with that agent. That's also how the agents get paid on rental and property management. I hope I covered all the questions. These questions were asked recently to me like many times actually. I don't know, maybe there's something going around in the atmosphere, but those questions were raised several times. So I hope you answered it. And if you have questions, if you have properties in DC area you want to be managed or rented out, contact me. We'll be happy to help you.